What's going on, guys? Chris here, and welcome to my first Taken King Destiny video. It's been a while on the way, 2 days late admittedly, but that's simply because I've been going into the Taken King blind, not knowing what I've been doing, and I've been really busy with PvE trying to level up for the world first raid attempt that I'm going to be doing on Twitch with my fire team this Friday. Anyway, I haven't really had any good weapons so far, so I figured what I'd do is I'd look through the tower vendors, and I might as well inform you guys about which weapons are the best ones to get. So we're going to be starting here in the hangar part of the tower because we have 3 weapon vendors and they all have some very interesting weapons. So starting off with Dead Orbit, right away, the first weapon we'll see here is an auto rifle. Now this auto rifle is amazing. Now you'll see it's a mid-impact auto rifle here. Going to be doing 20 headshot damage in the Crucible. Now what's really interesting about it is, first of all, you have the reflex sight, which is a great sight. Then you have rangefinder. Improving the range on an auto rifle is extremely crucial in the Crucible at the moment. Then you also have reinforced barrels, so you'll be taking a little bit away from the stability, but it really doesn't matter because it's pretty stable already. So you get some extra range plus rangefinder. You have a double range stack, which is great. And the last perk here, Third Eye, is amazing too. Next up is this Omolon Scout Rifle from Dead Orbit 2. You get Firefly, Extended Mag, and Triple Tap. Now this is mainly a PvE weapon. You have the Vishnu Confluence rate of fire impact balance here. So it's a very solid scout rifle for PvE especially. It's not terrible in PvP, but it's definitely more of a PvE focused weapon. Another Dead Orbit weapon, the Patch A here, comes with some great perks. First of all, we have crowd control here, which is good in both PvE and PvP. Then we have rangefinder, which admittedly isn't as good as it has been, but it's still a very solid perk. And then you get hand loaded, or you get rifle barrels. So this thing is going to have great range, a very decent fire rate, and crowd control. This is going to be a monster in both PvE and PvP. Moving on to the Vanguard Quartermaster, we have this pulse rifle here, the Apple of Discord. Now this is based off the Hake Hersha D pulse rifle, which you can actually acquire from the gunsmith right now here in week 1 at least. So if you haven't done that already, definitely go pick that up. You'll get it next Wednesday here. But anyway, this one first of all has a pretty clean look inside. I haven't seen it in first person, but I think this looks pretty damn clean. I think it's a good sight, definitely. You also have this. It's a marksman scope. I'm not sure because, again, I haven't seen this in first person. But then you get Head Seeker, which is known to be one of the best pulse rifle perks. You get Full Auto, which personally I'm not a big fan of, but it's not a bad perk at all. But the gold is down here at hand laid stock, so you almost max out the stability. Now it's not quite maxed out, so you're going to have great use of Head Seeker definitely, especially along with the 4-round burst that you get on Hake pulse rifles. So overall, a high, a high stability pulse rifle with a great perk set. This scout rifle here, not like the others, is also incredibly promising. So you have the standout sights here. You have reflex, which I personally like quite a lot. Then you have crowd control. Again, this is going to boost your damage by 15%, I believe, after a kill, which is great. Then you have like further mag. You have bonus damage to wizards, explosive rounds, but also reactive reload, which is basically going to turn this into a guaranteed 3-shot kill, I believe. It's an extremely strong perk, and I highly recommend getting this scout rifle. It's going to be a monster in both PvE and PvP. The shotgun available here from the Vanguard Quartermaster is also interesting. Now the perks are kind of lackluster with Danger Close, which isn't too bad. You know, increased reload and handling speed is always nice to have, especially if you're surrounded. You also have Rescue Mag, which is basically a chance to refill your magazine when you're critically wounded, which isn't too bad either, but the other perks here are kind of lackluster. Lightweight isn't too bad, Aggressive Ballistics isn't too bad, but the impact is really what makes it interesting. So the perks go in pretty well if you're in a close quarter situation. It's not going to be like a sniper shotgun like the Fellwinners or the Matador, but it's going to come close to that because of the impact alone. And then you have some perks that are going to help you in like really tight and really critical situations. So definitely an interesting gun. And lastly, from the Vanguard Quartermaster, you have the Choleric Dragon SRT-49, which is a tracking launcher with quite high blast radius. The velocity is not that great, nothing to improve on that except for soft launch here. But overall, it's a solid rocket launcher for PvE, and if you need one for PvE, definitely check this out. Future War Cult have some extremely interesting weapons. The first one being the Vanity. Now, this one comes with Luck in the Chamber, Extended Mags, and Firefly. These are all amazing perks, you know, bonus damage, Firefly, we all know and love that from Fatebringer, and Extended Max will take it up to 10, basically on par with the Fatebringer as it is right now. Now, what's really interesting about this is the unique rate of fire impact balance. Now, you may be thinking that looks like the Fatebringer, or you might even be thinking that looks like a, what's it called, the Timber Slash. But it's neither. Like, the rate of fire is the same as Fatebringer, but the impact is in between Fatebringer and Timber Slash. Now, I actually brought my Hawkmoon along, and you will see that the impact is only very slightly, well, it's actually slightly higher than the Hawkmoon is. You get better stability, better reload speed at the cost of some magazine size and some range. So you have the same fire rate and even higher impact than the Hawkmoon. So I think you'll probably be doing like 92 damage to the head in the Crucible, which is crazy. So this is going to be an all-round amazing hand cannon. The pulse rifle, the villainy, isn't too bad either. Now you get rangefinder, which I don't really think is needed on it. The range is pretty decent already. And you also get hand loader, you get casket mag and small bore. Now I'd say small bore is probably the way to go here, as a 30 magazine size is very healthy. You can definitely afford to take 3 rounds off that on this pulse rifle. Then you also get Third Eye, which is known to be a great PvP perk. And the last future war code weapon that I think is really interesting here is the Vertigo. Now this is a rocket launcher that has both warhead veneers and hard launch, which is great. And you also get like speed reload, single point sling. Both are like mediocre perks. Speed reload really isn't that great anymore. But you get grenades and horseshoes, and you get javelin. So this is a great PvP launcher right out the box. Definitely pick this one up for when Trials of Osiris comes around.
Yes.
Now the Crucible weapons aren't quite as interesting, unfortunately. The first really interesting weapon, in my opinion, is the Byronic Hero. Now you get Third Eye, you get Hammer Forged, and you also get Surrounded, so you get bonus damage when 3 or more enemies are in close proximity. Now this can come in handy in Control. Doubt it's going to be super useful. It's going to be much better in PvP, this perk, at least on this hand cannon. But Third Eye and Hammer Forged are always great perks to have. And it does not have Sure Shot, unfortunately, so you'll have to deal with some fairly semi-high aim assist. I'm not sure, to be honest. But Sure Shot is definitely the best side for hand cannons. You don't have that, but Hammer Forged and Third Eye are great perks. The Crucible Fusion Rifle is also really interesting in my opinion. Now you get Battle Runner, which is a very underrated perk in my opinion, basically boosting your sprint speed when you've gotten a kill. And I like this perk a lot. It's not the best perk in the world, but it's definitely good. Then you get Rifle Barrel, which will increase your range and slow down your reload speed. Not a big deal in my opinion. And then you also get life support, so basically if you get killed while you're critically wounded, you'll have a chance to start regenerating health. Now on a fusion rifle this is great because of the charge up time, so basically if they get a lot of damage on you but you manage to kill them, you'll have a chance to regenerate your health. The charge rate is not the greatest in the world, but it's definitely workable. You know, you can work with this. It's not super duper slow, but it's not very quick either. The next big thing is the shotgun. Now this has some really interesting perks for PvE. Not a great PvP weapon by any means, but you get Last Resort, so this is a very situational perk. Basically you have to be the last player alive on your fire team for it to work. So maybe in a Nightfall it could be good, but honestly I'm not sure. Then you get a full auto, great PvE perk all around. You know, higher DPS is always great in PvE. Then you get Flared Magwell, which is great in PvE too, because faster reloads equals more damage dealt out in a shorter amount of time. And then you have Hand Loaded, which is another good option. And lastly, you also have Hand Laid Stock. Would not recommend this, but Hand Loaded or Flared Magwell are both really good options. Also, Linear Compensator will boost your impact and range slightly, so that also helps. The sidearm here, the Havoc Pigeon, is also very interesting because you get crowd control, Feeding Frenzy, and also you have Quick Draw. Appended Magazine really does not have much of a penalty either, so this could be an interesting PvP sidearm. Not entirely sure, not a big fan of sidearms personally, but you guys let me know if you like this sidearm if you get it. Lastly, from the Crucible we have the Rocket Launcher. Now the Smolder here, it has grenades and horseshoes, it has tripod, but it has pretty terrible blast radius and velocity. Nothing to boost that up, so I'd say the Future Walker one is definitely the better choice. But this one is interesting. You know, you don't really have anything to boost it, but it has some really good perks.
Good luck out there.
Now, last and arguably least, we have new Monarchy. Now, the auto rifle is kind of interesting. Glass Half Full is a wasted perk in my opinion, but you do get Rifle Barrel, which is good. You also have Perfect Balance here to boost some of that stability. I would not recommend going with the oil frame. The range is simply too low like that, and it would kind of be pointless to have Rifle Barrel then. But Perfect Balance and Rifle Barrel are both interesting perks. I do like the rate of fire impact type of this auto rifle, so definitely an interesting one. But I think the sidearm is really the best weapon available here. Again, you have reactive reload, which I quite like. Basically a 33% boost to your damage after a kill. You get Battle Runner, which is, again, a really good perk in my opinion. Then you have some mediocre perks here. I'd say Appended Mag is probably the best way to go here. Arguably high caliber rounds could be good too. So this is definitely a really interesting sidearm. Then we also have the shotgun. This is basically like the dry rod from House of Wolves. So if you like that and the mini horseman setup with the full auto perk and all, this could be the weapon for you. It also has reinforced barrel and rifle barrel, which I quite like. You know, those are two great perks. You also get aggressive ballistics and underdog. So basically a booster range and handling when the health is low. So kind of an interesting perk. Not the greatest perk, I think, but this is a great PvE shotgun. And the very last weapon I want to talk about is the machine gun. Now, the machine guns from the vendors are pretty lackluster, but here you do get persistence, you do get counterbalance, and then you also have reinforced barrel to boost the range and take a bit away from stability, but you do have double stability perks here to help you out with that. So, interesting machine gun. You'll probably get better jobs either way, but definitely check it out if you want a machine gun. So, that's it for the video, guys. I hope you did enjoy, and I will see you guys next time.